Kinangina Salakaya Sakshur Militanyena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Mahavarinyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta by Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj and the purpose of Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Swāmī Prabhupada. We are at Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta Madhya-līlā, chapter 3, text 7. Lord Chaitanya is at the house of Sri Advaita Acharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved the purport of this verse on account of the determination of the mendicant devotee to engage in the service of Lord Mukunda. He gave his approval of this verse, indicating that it was very good. The real purpose of accepting sannyas is to dedicate oneself to the service of Mukunda. By serving Mukunda, one can actually be liberated from the bondage of material existence. After accepting the sannyas order, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrindavan and engage himself wholly and solely in the service of Mukunda in a solitary place. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was en route to Vrindavan, all the ecstatic symptoms became manifest, and he did not know in which direction he was going, nor did he know whether it was day or night. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went toward Vrindavan, Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhara, and Prabhu Mukunda followed him. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through the Radha Dash, whoever saw him in ecstasy exclaimed, "Hari, Hari!" As they chanted this with the Lord, all the unhappiness of material existence diminished. All the cowherd boys who saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passing joined with him and began to shout loudly, "Hari, Hari!" When he heard all the cowherd boys also chanting Hari, Hari, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. He approached them, put his hand on their heads and said, "Go on chanting like this." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus blessed them all, saying that they were all very fortunate. In this way he praised them, and he felt very successful because they chanted the holy name of Lord Hari. Calling all the boys in confidence and telling a reasonable story, Nityananda Prabhu instructed them as follows. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks you about the path to Vrindavan, please show him the path on the bank of the Ganges instead. When the cowherd boys were questioned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the path to Vrindavan, the boys showed him the path on the bank of the Ganges, and the Lord went that way in ecstasy. As the Lord proceeded along the bank of the Ganges, Sri Nityananda Prabhu requested Acharya Ratna, Chandrasekhara Acharya, to go immediately to the house of Advaita Acharya. Sri Nityananda Gosvāmī told him, "I shall take Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the bank of the Ganges at Shantipur, and Advaita Acharya should carefully stay there on shore with a boat." After that, Nityananda Prabhu continued, "I shall go to Advaita Acharya's house, and you should go to Navadvip and return with Mother Sachi and all the other devotees." After sending Acharya Ratna to the house of Advaita Acharya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu went before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gave notice of his coming. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy, and he asked where Nityananda Prabhu was going. Nityananda Prabhu replied that he was going with him towards Vrindavan. When the Lord asked Nityananda Prabhu how far it was to Vrindavan, Nityananda Prabhu replied, "Just see, here is the river Jamuna." Saying this, Nityananda Prabhu took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu near the Ganges, and the Lord in his ecstasy accepted the river Ganges as the river Jamuna. The Lord said, "Oh, what good fortune! Now I have seen the river Jamuna." Thus, thinking the Ganges to be the river Jamuna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to offer prayers to it. "O river Jamuna, you are the blissful spiritual water that gives love to the son of Nanda Maharaj. You are the same as the water of the spiritual world, for you can vanquish all our offenses and the sinful reactions incurred in life. You are the creator of all auspicious things for the world. O daughter of the Sun God, kindly purify us by your pious activities." After reciting this mantra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances and took his bath in the Ganges. At that time, he had on only one piece of underwear, for there was no second garment. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing there without a second garment, Sri Advaita Acharya arrived on a boat, bringing with him new underwear and external garments. When Advaita Acharya arrived, he stood before the Lord and offered his obeisances. After seeing him, the Lord began to wonder about the entire situation. Still in his ecstasy, the Lord began asking Advaita Acharya, "Why did you come here? How did you know that I was in Vrindavan?" Advaita Acharya disclosed the whole situation, telling Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "Wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Now it is my great fortune that you have come to the bank of the Ganges." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "Nityananda has cheated me. He has brought me to the bank of the Ganges and told me that it was the Jamuna." When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accused Nityananda of cheating him, Srila Advaita Acharya said, "Whatever Nityananda Prabhu has told you is not false. You have indeed just now taken your bath in the river Jamuna." Advaita Acharya then explained that at the spot both the Ganges and Jamuna flow together. On the western bank was the Jamuna, and on the eastern side was the Ganges. Advaita Acharya then suggested that since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken his bath in the river Jamuna and his underwear was now wet, the Lord should change his underwear for dry garments. All the prepared foods were divided into 3 equal parts. One part was arranged on a metal plate for offering to Lord Krishna. Of the 3 divisions, one was arranged on a metal plate and the other 2 were arranged on plantain leaves. These leaves were not bifurcated, and they were taken from a banana tree that held at least 32 bunches of bananas. The 2 plates were filled very nicely with the kinds of foods described below. The cooked rice was a stack of very fine grains, nicely cooked, and in the middle was yellow butter, clarified from the milk of cows. Surrounding the stack of rice were pots made of skins of banana trees, and in these pots were varieties of vegetables and moong dal. Among the cooked vegetables were patolas, squash, manakachu, and a salad made with pieces of ginger and various types of spinach. There was sukta, bitter lemon mixed with all kinds of vegetables, defying the taste of nectar. There were 5 types of bitter and pungent suktas. Amongst the various vegetables were newly grown leaves of bimba trees fried with eggplant. The fruit known as patola was fried with pulabari, a kind of dal preparation, first mashed and then dried in the sun. There was also a preparation known as kusmanda manachaki. The preparation made with coconut pulp mixed with curd and rock candy was very sweet. There was a curry made of banana flowers and squash boiled in milk, all in great quantity. There were small cakes in sweet and sour sauce and 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. All the vegetables were so made that everyone present could take prasadam. There were soft cakes made with moong dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas, and soft cakes made with urd dal. There were various kinds of sweetmeats and condensed milk mixed with the rice cakes, a coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. All the vegetables were served in pots made of banana leaves taken from trees producing at least 32 bunches of bananas. These pots were very strong and big and did not tilt or totter. All around the 3 eating places were 100 pots filled with various kinds of vegetables. Along with the various vegetables was sweet rice mixed with ghee. This was kept in new earthen pots. Earthen pots filled with highly condensed milk were placed in 3 places. Besides the other preparations, there were chipped rice made with milk and mixed with bananas, and white squash boiled in milk. Indeed, it is not possible to describe all the preparations that were made. In 2 places there were earthen pots filled with another preparation made with yogurt, sandash, a sweetmeat made with curd, and banana. I am unable to describe it all. Upon the stack of boiled rice and all the vegetables were flowers of the tulasi trees. There were also pots filled with scented rose water. There were 3 sitting places where soft clothes were placed. Thus Lord Krishna was offered all the foodstuffs, and the Lord took it very pleasantly. Okay, we stop here for today. Jai Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā chapter 3, Lord Chaitanya at the house of Advaita Acharya. We read further tomorrow. Okay? Jai. Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Gurudev. Then we read a little bit from The Loving Search for the Lost Servant, from talks from Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Maharaj. And we are at the chapter of the gradation, planets of faith. Oh, something. Do you see the light? Is the light here? Okay, anyway. It disappeared. That is page 4. The present is at hand. We don't know about our future. We must try to use the time at hand to the best advantage. And how will our time be the best used? In the association of saints and scriptures. Purity is to be measured by the unit of sacrifice, and not sacrifice to any partial interest, but sacrifice to the whole. The absolute whole has been shown to us as the emporium of Rasa Akila Rasamrita Murti. The absolute good, the autocrat, the designer and destiner of everything we see. Our ideal of sacrifice should be so high that we can give up even the corresponding results of sacrifice. Self-abnegation or self-surrender is generally known as Atma-nivedam. However, Atma-nikshepa is a stronger word for surrender. It means to throw oneself desperately towards the infinite. One must be desperate in self-sacrifice. In self-sacrifice, we must be very careful not to aspire for any greater or extended selfishness, but to surrender only to the center. Sacrifice is meant for the center, Krishna, the all-attractor. In realizing that position, we are concerned about two things: transcendental knowledge, sambandha, and the means for reaching the goal, abhideya. If we realize these correctly, then the fulfillment of the ultimate goal, prajojana, will come automatically. We shall be very conscious about the center to whom we are dedicating everything. The object of our fulfillment, sambandha, and our dedication or purity of purpose, abhideya, these two things are most important. This can be understood from the scriptures and the saints. And if we concern ourselves with the purest end and highest sacrifice, the end will come of itself. We are not to bother for any remuneration. We have only to do our duty, and the remuneration will come. To whom we will dedicate ourselves, and what we shall receive. These things should be discussed throughout, meditated upon, and put into practice. In this way, we must try to live in the infinite. We must always stay engaged in the cultivation of infinite love and infinite beauty, as recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's short but very important and very sweet. The sacrifice, not so much like following our mind, what we like, what we want to do, but what is advised to us from the saints and from the scriptures what to do. That is our practice. I mean, we make mistakes, but we are practicing. We every day, every time, there's always a choice. By doing things, how can we please our master? Or how do I follow my mind, actually? And the purity of that is in the sacrifice. How pure, how sincere, how dedicated we are to this process. It's not easy. We all make all the time mistakes, but the ideal is so high, and it's so encouraging and actually very so fulfilling. And we feel that when we say, okay, actually I wanted to do this, but I follow the instructions. And when we're doing that, then we will feel that in our heart, isn't it? Okay, we stop here. Jai. Loving search for the lost servant. Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Bhakti Bhakti. Rakak Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Gurudev. What do you say?
Very short, very short.
Yes, 8 o'clock. I have to go to the... Yeah. Do you want to sing? Hari Araya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Namaha Sri Caitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Kavirāja Siva Sari
Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Jewel Ki Jai. Jai Vishipad Paramahamsa Kavirāja Gacchāya Vai Asatar Satashi Śrīmad Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dei Swāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishipad Paramahamsa Kavirāja Gacchāya Vai Asatar Satashi Śrīmad Śrīla Bhakti Śrīdhar Dei Swāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishipad Paramahamsa Kavirāja Gacchāya Vai Asatar Satashi Śrīmad Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati